Well, hello. Welcome to American Reversion. I'm Steve Smith. Second one for the day, right? If you've already watched the one that I just put up about more lives out of Ukraine, you already know a little bit about the first thing that I'm going to touch on, but we're not going to spend much time on that. There's a lot here to do. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to all the old people, all the new people, all the new subscribers, both here and over on Patreon. It's great to have you here. Hope you're having a good day. Uh, just like I said on the last one, I want to say something directly to you all and for those who comment. And don't worry, it's not bad. It's a great compliment. I'm fond of saying over on integrative preparedness that I think I have the smartest commenters in YouTube land, and I hold to that. But I tell you, the last couple of videos here on American Reversion, if the quality of the comments here have not surpassed those on integrative preparedness, they have come right up to them, and I am very impressed and thankful um, uh, because you add quality to the content to the channel, and also you help other people learn. Uh, in that regard, I do ask for anybody who's new that if you do comment, um, be nice. Don't call anybody out. There's no reason for that. If you have an opinion that differs from something that you've heard, you may express it if you respect it, if you express it properly and respectfully, and don't go tell somebody that they're stupid or silly or anything like that. And if you have some information that's different, if you have something that makes you disagree with something that you see here, support it. Okay, don't just say, well, I don't you know that such and such, or I heard, or so and so on another channel said, or something like that. I just had one I had to get rid of because he just kept putting junk on here. He was probably well meaning, but you see, trash talk detracts from the quality of the program, right? And so that's not what we want. Anyway, so you guys are a sharp bunch, and it's great to have you. For anybody who is new here, welcome. We ask that you give us a thumbs up, give us a like, share it with your friends. That's the way that we make the channel grow, and we do want it to grow because we want to have an effect on the world around us, right? And comment if you'd like. And if you'd like to support us, there's a way to do that. Right down here is a link to our Patreon channel, our Patreon page. And it has a lot of stuff on it that's not on YouTube. It has everything that's on YouTube. In addition, and you can join. It's just there's not levels. It just costs you $1 a month if you'd like to be a part of it. You can pledge more. We have a lot of people that do pledge more. If you want to support the channel in that way, we thank you very much. And so that's down there for you, for those of you who wish to. Uh, some of the things that we have over there, I'll read some of the things that we have on Patreon that's not here that I just put up today. An article on the Ukrainian neo-Nazi military units. Are you aware that there are neo-Nazi military units in the Ukrainian Guard? That's something that a lot of people wondered. Well, what's Putin talking about the denazification of Ukraine? Well, because they have neo-Nazi units within their military. Did you know that? Okay, there's over on Patreon, and you will see that. And then, of course, I put up the Ukraine Lies Debunked, the whole article on that, so that you can read the article that I talked about in the previous video, and you can have that link to send to people that you know if you would like. a funny thing, I remember Saturday Night Live back when it was funny, right when it first came out, and people go, oh, wow. We've never seen anything like this, Chevy Chase and all those. Well, I haven't watched them for years just because, they're not my taste. And, but I don't know how I stumbled across this. And the title of this is SNL Gets It Right on Masking. They did a funny bit on the ever-changing mask requirements. And now you've heard that it was so important, right, that we needed to, blah, blah, blah. Well, now they say, you don't have to. And they ask a very good question. Has the science changed? Or has the political motives changed? Other than that, previously I put up a video from Tulsi Gabbard, a great speech that she gave at CPAC, a Democrat who's more conservative than many Republicans. A great talk from Victor Davis Hanson, on talking about how Biden is the most radical president in the U.S. history. And then an excellent video, a deep dive into Biden and Ukraine. And if you really want to know what's going on there, that's, gosh, I don't know. It's quite long. I think it's about an hour and a half, if I recall. If you have an hour and a half and you want to know more about really what's going on, that's a good one to watch. And I need a new tripod, don't I? I promise to use some of the contributions from Patreon to get one. And then one that a lot of people didn't know about, every time I talk about this, because I've talked about it repeatedly over on integrative preparedness, and I've put it in my books. And by the way, this video is brought to you by my book, The Reversion. Yes, my book. It's about the rebuilding of society after society has collapsed. It's the book after which I named this channel. And I'll do my own commercials since YouTube keeps putting commercials on some of my videos, even though I haven't monetized them. And they get money out of me. So here, if you'd like to buy my book, it's the first of the five books in the Stonemont series. Number 6 being worked on. Anyway, like I said, one thing that every time that I talk about this particular thing, people seem to be very interested because they find out that everything they've been taught all their little lives was not true. What a surprise. And that is, it's something out of, I think it was out of the Abbeville Institute. I'm not certain. It's the real reason the South seceded. And it's going to be a shock to many of you out there. Okay, so that's what we have over on, that's why you should join the Patreon channel. You get a lot out of that. Okay, now let's see what we've got here. The debunking of all of the heroic lies out of, we already covered that in the previous one, so I'll get rid of that one. And let's start with this one. This is great. This shows the inanity of our society. Family files lawsuit against Tennessee school district. I start with the funny stuff for you people who are new. Usually I try, if there's funny stuff, unless it's just such a day that it doesn't lend itself to, funny stuff being appropriate at all. I usually try to start with the silly stuff, the funny stuff, the crazy stuff. And we have one here. Family files lawsuit against Tennessee school district asking to ban chewing gum and eating in class. When Kelly, that's my wife for those of you who don't know, when she told me this, my first reaction was, well, we weren't allowed to chew gum or eat food in class, and I think it was probably better back then. It was more, the distractions that are in school nowadays are just amazing. And I said, where it started was when teachers started bringing their Starbucks into class or whatever, and then like Daniel Patrick Moynihan, was it he who said, the diminishing expectations. Okay. But anyway, that's not, as she read the article to me, I said, okay, let's get to the root of this, right? Since we're all about victims now. So let me read this. This is out of Knoxville, Tennessee. A Jane Doe and her parents have filed a new lawsuit against a Tennessee school district asking them to ban chewing gum and eating in classrooms. The case was filed, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here it is, right there in the second one. Here's why. Thought I was going to have to search for this. I don't. The case was filed because Doe, right, the fake name of the real girl, said she has a medical condition, misophonia, described as an extreme reaction to hearing normal sounds in response to chewing, according to court documents. I mean, are you banging your head right now the same way I did? Misophonia, an extreme reaction to hearing normal sounds. How do you survive? Why is she in school? I mean, I'm sorry for the young lady, But how does she function in school with all those normal sounds going on all around her, right? I mean, if it's really that serious, and I hope I hope there's something that can be done for that, because that'd be horrible. Uh, but come on. It says the documents allege that Doe suffers extreme distress when she hears the sounds of chewing, and that she must escape. Do you think she goes to the lunchroom? Do you think she eats herself? Do you think her family has dinner? Okay, I could go on and on with that, but you don't need me to. You could too, and I feel sorry for the girl, but this just shows the insanity of our world and what it's gotten to, that anybody would take, that they would think about bringing this case, that a lawyer would take it. Well, I have no lawyers who would take it, but I also know a lot of lawyers who wouldn't. And then, oh my God. Okay, enough of that. Okay, the next, equally brilliant. NASA pledges to put a woman and a person of color on the moon in 2025. White men may not apply. Okay, a couple things right away, right? Okay, so they pledged to put a woman and a person of color. Does that mean that the vice president would be able to fulfill both of those goals, or what? And what in the world is the point of that? I have absolutely no problem with a woman going to the moon, or a person of color going to the moon. Matter of fact, I know some of each branch I would love to send there. But there are plenty of fine ones too, right? Plenty of fine ones. And if they're the best, then send them, for crying out loud. But like always happens with these affirmative action situations, to where we have to send, we got to pursue equity. First off, it does not reward quality. You're saying right now that whether they're the best or not, they're gone, and you diminish the importance of their achievement. Okay? The rest of the world, for the most part, most conservatives and even some independents, well, I shouldn't say it that way, most independents, because I'm an independent, and even some Democrats have gotten past race. But no, apparently not NASA. But don't you remember, was it NASA? I think it was. That when Obama got in, he said, your primary goal, and any of you out there who remember this or remember it differently, point it out. If I'm a little bit off on this, I don't think I am, though. He told NASA, your primary goal right now is to promote Islam, or Islam equality, something like that. Does NASA not have its own stuff to do? And if not, why are we paying all that money for it? Okay. Well, so all of you women and people of color, get ready. You now can go to the moon. You know what? You could have gone anyway. if you were the best. Georgia. A couple of things out of Georgia. First off, I'll just take them in order. Georgia finds, this is from Just the News, Georgia finds more than 2,000 suspected foreigners trying to get on state's voter rolls. Let me ask you something. And they are, I think, the second. Yeah, Georgia is the second state in a few weeks to detect efforts by foreigners to get into position to cast ballots. Now, why would a foreigner want to cast a ballot in an American election? Why? Would it even have occurred to them? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's stupid on its face. It doesn't make any sense, and it wouldn't have occurred to any of them if the Democrats hadn't been pushing for it, right? Well, guess what? Georgia caught 2,000 of them, and they're all over the place. Where was it, that place? Yesterday that I talked about that that is about to allow non-citizens to vote for the first time. Vermont. Isn't that Vermont? Vermont, yeah. Because somebody made a comment about Bernie Sanders. The state that I've always wanted to go to until yesterday, right? Okay. So that's it. So Georgia just found 2,000 suspected foreigners trying to get on the state's voter rolls. Well, it says suspected, but, you know. Okay. Back to Georgia. Good for them. Constitutional carry passes Georgia Senate and heads to the House. All you Georgians in the House down there, in the Georgia House, you had better vote for that or be ready to find a new job. Go back to your little, your previous jobs of flipping burgers or chasing ambulances, because I think the people are speaking more and more loudly. Good for you, Georgia. Kansas is a constitutional carry state. Missouri is a constitutional carry state. I'm kind of surprised that more of the southern states aren't already constitutional carry states. But good for you. Good for you. You're catching up, and that's what we need. What do we got next? Oh yes. Just to remind you again about the Azaz Battalion. This is from Ukraine, and I put this up over on the Patreon channel so you can see. But the Azaz Special Operations Detachment, often known as Azaz Detachment, Azaz Regiment, or Azaz Battalion, is a right-wing extremist and neo-Nazi unit of the National Guard of Ukraine. Ukraine. Remember, Ukraine, the good guys, right? Ukraine, the place that Putin said he's going in to denazify, and everybody said, "What? What? He's the Nazi?" Well, Ukraine has its own Azov Special Operations Detachment. Right-wing extremist, neo-Nazi. How you you lefties who came on here by accident feel about that? I know, cognitive dissonance, right? Rattling your brain. And finally, let's see. Wait, no. Second to finally. This thing keeps migrating to my left, and I don't like that. Okay. WHO, not like who, but WHO, the World Health Organization, reportedly to push for trust framework to help nations confirm the legitimacy of people's vaccine credentials. So we've gone from, they never stop. I mean, it's never over. Regardless of how many victories we have in the battles, they are going to keep on keeping on. And I had somebody say something. I just happened to see it today when I was going through the comments from, and I don't do this regularly. So if you comment on something, after a day or two after something's been up, I probably don't see your comment. And sometimes if I have some time, I go back through all the comments that I haven't responded to. You know how you do that, right? And I saw one on responding to the one that I had put up, the people win or something like that, about Trudeau up there, relaxing his mandates, whatever. And I said the people win. And somebody came on and, apparently thought that I was too ignorant to understand that, well, this was just short term, this is just what you were. Yeah, I get it, Do you get that wars are made up of battles and it is good to win a battle? Okay. So what I'm saying is we all know that no matter how many little things we win, they're going to keep pushing. They keep at it. They think long term. We think, get rid of this and let us get back to work and our families, right? Well, they don't have those things. They all work for nonprofits and NGOs and the government itself. And they don't, for the most part, many of them don't have families because they don't believe in families. So they have plenty of time to go to the next step and fight some more. But we're gonna win some. But we have to keep winning them. We have to keep our eyes on the ball, and that's the purpose of this channel. And we have to keep winning those battles so that we win the war. So that's what WHO is doing. Even though we are seeing a minimization of support for vaccine passports here, no, says WHO. We are going to develop one that's going to do it worldwide. And finally, you're going to love this one. Democrats, this is from Trish Reagan. Trish Reagan Intel. She covers economics and markets and politics and things like that. She's a sharp one. Democrats are retiring in droves out of fear of November elections. I think it's up to 31 now. 31 have announced, if I'm not mistaken, could be 32 by now, that they have decided, for all sorts of reasons. I want to be with my family more, or my health, whatever. They're not going to run. So she says here, let's see. Oh yeah, this is the last one. This comes from Jen DeFade. Breaking. CBS Miami has learned that Ted Deutsch, Representative Ted Deutsch, who has served in Congress since 2011, will not run for re-election and is giving up his House seat, representing Broward and Palm Beach, to take a leadership position. See, it's always like, I'm going to lead another way. In a major Jewish American advocacy group. Story to follow. Well, they're, rats off a sinking ship, right? The problem is that these are the rats that shoot a hole in the bottom of the boat. And having seen, oh my gosh, why didn't our efforts result in perfect communism? They go, well, I don't know what to do now. I'd better skedaddle. Scoot the boot and off we are. Okay. So that's good news. That the question will be, who are they replaced with? There's a good chance that most of these seats that will be vacated will be excellent opportunities for Republicans. The question is, what kind of Republican goes in there? What is going to be the strength of the Republican leadership? Excuse me. I say this again, I'm going to repeat, I'm not a Republican, but they're the closest thing to what I am in the two-party system. So they're the ones that I want to win, right? But it depends on their strength of leadership, and it depends on whether the people hold their feet to the fire. Too often when the Republicans have a landslide or a win, Republicans have a tendency to go, whew, okay, it's over. We can get back to our lives. No, it's not over. It's never over. Remember what I said a minute ago. It's never over, and you can't stop fighting. So that's it for today. Where are we at here? Oh, man, I beat the time by 5 minutes, didn't I? That's because I put two up today and figured you probably had enough. No, I know you could take a lot more of this funny stuff and the good stuff too. But I'm out of here to do some other things. Thank you all for being here. Remember, like we say, America needs a reversion. It needs you to be a part of it. And in order to be a good part of it, you need to be educated. You need to know what's going on in this world, and you need to share it. You need to be a part of the fight. And if you would like to, as I say, I make no apologies for doing this because we appreciate the support that we get from people. If you would like to support us, the way you can do that is by going to our Patreon channel. The link is down below. Patreon channel, and subscribing as a patron, one of our patrons, and it really helps us. So thank you again. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.